Hello. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Telltale Podcast. I'm your host, Kayla Goldsmith, and today I am here with the lovely Sian. Welcome to the podcast, Sian.
Hi, thank you for having me, Kayla.
I'm so stoked to have you on. So this is actually like my first in-person podcast interview. So like you're
Oh,
the
wow.
first video one that I'm having. I usually do them like via a voice call,
Oh,
but like
yeah.
this is my first one face to face. So I'm kind of nervous, but I'm so glad that I get to do it with you. So thank you.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
Yeah, so a lot of my listeners were asking me, they were like, can we get Sian on? Like, please, I really want to see her on the podcast. So I had to kind of scramble and just get you on. And thank you for saying yes again.
Not a problem at all. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
all right. I'm super excited too. All right, so my first question for you is tell us a little bit about yourself for anyone that doesn't know, who are you? What do you like, etc.
Yeah, I feel like I go completely blank whenever someone asks this question. Like I'm like, what do I do? But
Oh my
I'm like currently in year 12, so I'm doing my HSC in like 2 weeks. I'm a singer. I feel like I just like don't know what to say.
Yeah,
Um,
fair enough.
yeah, I don't really know. That's pretty much it. I'm a
Yeah, no, I feel like we're so young that like when that question is asked to me, I like get so like I'm like existential crisis, like
Yeah,
who am I?
I'm like, what do they actually want to know? I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
how much
But I
detail do
think
they
that
get?
kind of that's pretty like a good kind of preface for the beginning. We'll get into it
Yeah.
more. I think people will get to know you. But HSC is in 2 weeks. I'm doing it too. So I am
Oh, really?
literally we're both freaking out. I just
Yeah,
like
I'm like over it. I feel like it's dragged on so long now. Everything got pushed back that I'm just like,
mm,
it feels like it's not real. Like that's my mantra.
yeah.
I'm like, this is all just fake.
Exactly. Like I'm freaking out, but I'm not as freaked out as I thought I would be because
Yeah.
it's been pushed back so long. I've become like desensitized
I was
in a
I was
way.
saying to my friends the other day, I was saying like I'm pretty sure I was way more stressed for like sorry, my dogs are barking.
It's
I
all
was way
good.
more stressed for like year 11 prelims than I am right now for my HSC in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And like whenever I looked to the future back then, I'd be like, "Oh my God, that will be so stressful." But I feel like I'm just like kind of yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Not-
understand. What are your subjects, by the way? I'm quite curious to know.
I do chemistry, advanced English, advanced maths, extension English, music, and I'm at a Catholic school, so 2 unit religion.
Yeah. What's your
What do you
favorite
do?
subject? Music, right?
Music would have to be my favorite. Yeah.
I'm doing studies of religion, but like 1 unit because I
Yeah.
don't go to Catholic school, but I love the subject. It's so fun.
It is really
Um,
fun. Yeah.
It is. I do extension English. I don't do maths. I drop maths. I do business studies, economics, PDHPE, and that's it, I think. And advanced English.
Wow. Yeah. Do you like extension English?
I do, but it's like full on.
It is, yeah.
Like, yeah.
I
How do
feel
you like it?
well, ours, I don't know about at your school, ours runs off timetable. So it's like after school on a Tuesday, just for like 2 hours.
Mm.
So it's like I sometimes find myself forgetting that I do it when I
Yeah.
like, but yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And I think that creativity as well probably lends itself to your songwriting, which we'll get to in a
We'll get to,
second.
yeah.
But yeah, all right. So you were kind of roped into this year's season of The Voice pretty spontaneously, if anyone watched. Like you were just asked on the spot with
Yeah.
your brother. But despite the circumstances, had you always been interested in being on the show before you were actually asked to audition?
In all honesty, I I never really like pictured myself going on the show because it was like I used to have friends. No, they're still my friends. That was a weird way to phrase it. But like my friends used to like say to me like, "Oh, like you should go on The Voice." And I would literally be like, "No, that is so scary." Like could you imagine
Yeah.
just like the whole thought of like walking onto the stage? I'd always be like, "No, no way, not for me."
Mm.
But then it was just strange that like when I was actually asked, I kind of went, "Oh yeah, 100%." Like
Yeah.
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 So I'm so glad I did it, but I never actually pictured myself going on something like The Voice just because there is like it's quite a scary concept of like
Mm.
going up and singing to like four chairs, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, you have experience in like musical theater, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
that. So I guess like you were kind of prepped for it, but it definitely was daunting being just thrust up on stage like randomly in the
Yeah.
middle of your as well. I
Yeah,
think
I
you
know. That was
saying
like they didn't air it, but one of the first things I said was like, "Oh, like no, I can't do that. I'm doing my HSC this year." And
yeah,
then my family kind of looked at me like, "Sian."
shush, just do it. Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, it would have been really awesome to be able to do it with your brother as well,
No, it
because
was it was 100% so much more like calming doing it with my brother.
mm,
And I think we forgot that other people didn't have their sibling like doing it with them,
mm,
and it was like I don't know, a lot more comforting.
yeah, for sure.
I'm
And
so
so
sorry
like
about my dogs as well.
that's perfectly fine. You know what? It's like ambience. It's like the
It's
background
like, yeah, white
music.
noise, but with
Yeah.
barking.
So your audition song was Bruises by Lewis Capaldi.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know why or how you came down to choosing this song with such short notice. Because I mean, it was kind of on the spot, and
Yeah.
you were probably like, "What song?"
I, to be honest, it wasn't really my choice. Like, I love that song. So I was like on board. Like, I said yes to it. But
Yeah.
I think when I was asked, there was a bit of a scramble for like the rest of the like production team, I guess. They were going like, what song, what song? And I think they looked on my Instagram. I don't even have it up anymore. I might put it back up. But I had at the time a cover, like a little snippet of me singing that song. So
Mm,
when they like checked my socials, they were like, oh, so she knows that song. And they said, would you be fine with doing Bruises? And it was
yeah.
kind of funny because they're like, oh, so you're like familiar with that song. I hadn't actually done like a cover of the whole song. It was like, do you remember the bit that was like
Different.
trending at one point?
I
Where
think
it was
so.
like just the I've been told to get you off my
Mm,
mind. Like
yeah.
it was just that. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so happy I did do that song though, because it's kind of like a perfect song for having not like prepared, being
Mm,
unprepared, if that makes sense, because it's kind of like simple lyrics,
yeah.
but still has that like element of like, oh wow.
Yeah. And I think with the voice as well, like you need that kind of wow moment, and it allowed you to have that wow
Yeah.
moment, go high and stuff like that. So yeah,
Another thing,
definitely.
another thing that led them to that song as well was that the pianist already knew it because someone did it
Mm,
last year. So it was like,
okay.
because I didn't have time to prepare, it was a lot easier to do something he
Yeah.
already knew.
Yeah, it was just like a perfect kind of
Yeah.
choice. And I mean, something I think is so special about you as a performer is that you emote so, so well when you sing a song.
Thank you.
And like genuinely, like when you sing, your whole face emotes and your kind of Candace also emotes as well. Like you can feel the song and the emotion through it.
Thank you.
Which is
Aw.
but yeah, like I almost tear up like every time I hear you sing like a beautiful song. And I guess that could probably go back to again your kind of musical theater background, because I mean you're definitely going to have to be able to emote and get into a
Yeah.
character like that. How do you feel that like musical theater in that background has kind of helped assist you with everything that you've done so far?
I actually think it has had like a huge influence on even just the audition. As you said, as you kind of mentioned it before, like being able to go up there and like just say yes and like do
Mm,
it. Because I feel like in musical theater, there's always going to be things that like go wrong. I have so many stories of things that just like didn't go to plan. Like I've been doing musical theater since I was like, I can't think, I was in like year 3 when I did,
mm.
I don't know how old you are in year 3, but when, whatever age that is, I did
Yeah.
like my first musical. And when I was like 12, I was in a musical where someone like didn't come on stage and I just had to like stand there and like speak until like they came on for the scene. But I feel like
Yeah.
just that element of like not knowing what's going to happen and then just improvising, I guess, did help
Yeah.
there. And with, as you're saying, with like emotion, like you kind of have to tap into a character when you play them. And then it is
Mm,
sort of that same concept, but as in like you're just tapping into yourself, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
I feel like I
Yeah.
didn't describe that well, but it's like in musical theater you're trying to be someone else and you have to like emote in that way. And then it's kind of the same thing, but just like from within yourself.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, I feel like as well, you could even say that you're tapping into like the lyrics too and
Yeah.
seeing how they apply to you or how you can kind of enhance them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think as well, like even, you're kind of writing music at the moment, which is
Yeah.
also exciting. I think, when that stuff comes out, it's going to be more personal to you. So like that will be even more authentic and even more real. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, there was a little bit of uproar when you left the show, myself included. I was like, come on, she is incredible. But, I thought G Nation were awesome too. So,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of other people did believe, like there was a lot of hate directed towards G Nation because of you leaving the show.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to know, what was it like navigating this and how are you feeling towards all of these different responses? Because I'm sure you might want to like have your say, because I know
Yeah.
you're friends with G Nation too. So
Yeah. Like I'm like really close with like all the G Nation girls. So it was pretty upsetting just to see where people directed their hate because I think I've always said like it's fine to have an opinion and be like, oh, I preferred Sian. But I think when
mm,
people like sort of go for the jugular and they say like, oh, like G Nation's not talented, it's like you know they're talented.
yeah.
Like it's just your personal preference. And they also didn't make the decision. I feel like that was where I kind of like was getting really almost like upset by it because I'm going, they didn't do anything wrong by
Yeah.
and as well as the fact that a lot of the uproar was sort of like along the lines of like it's not fair 6 against 1. And it's like, yeah, but they were allowed to audition. So it's
Mm,
once again, it wasn't nothing that happened was worthy of warranting hate towards them, if that
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Mm,
So it was quite upsetting to see, and especially since they're young, like,
yeah.
and they're super talented, and it wasn't their choice. It was, yeah. And it was hard sort of navigating it because for a while afterwards, when I would post something, there continued to be those
Yeah.
types of comments, and it got a bit like draining because I'd be like deleting
Mm,
certain ones. Like, that's the thing I always said though, is like it's fine to have your opinion. Some people were quite nice about it, like,
yeah.
oh, I loved you and I wish you went further. Like, that's
Yeah.
fine. That's
Yeah.
a perfectly normal comment. But when it's like, I loved you and I hated G Nation, I was
Yeah.
like, oh gosh.
Like, okay. Let's
Okay.
take the second half away and just
Yeah.
keep it positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. But like, did you experience personally any hate? I don't think you would have, but I'm not sure
I
because
think I, it wasn't like super like noticeable or intense. There was just a little bit. Do you know the cut? Like the cut
yeah,
episode?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
There was a few like comments that I saw. Although no one really said it to me personally, I was just very nosy and would like look at all the
yeah.
comments.
Yeah, yeah.
But like it was like, oh, Sian shouldn't have gone through. Like I think there was a few a different way. Like it was.
Mm,
I think some people really wanted Soraya through as well,
yeah.
but the cut was a very brutal episode. So
Mm,
I was expecting like mixed opinions because I feel like you didn't really get the chance to like bond anymore with say
yeah.
someone that you really bonded with in their audition and then it's like oh they're
Mm,
gone. So it's like I was expecting there to be like mixed opinions in that section and especially since they didn't play the entire performance, they would only play like 10 seconds of it.
yeah. And I mean, like, usually traditionally the voice is like has the battle as the kind of second
Yeah.
run. So the cut was kind of like a new kind of thing for you.
Yeah.
Were you happy that it was the cut, or would you have preferred to do the battle?
Well, I because I the cut was like very soon after the audition.
Mm,
And I think the cut was actually the worst day for me mentally because I kind of just didn't prepare myself as in like I did the audition and I got 4 chairs and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing." And then I didn't really think any further that like I had to keep going in the competition. Like I
yeah.
was like, "Oh, there's more." I I personally preferred the cut because
Mm,
I think it was like kind of just over and done with a bit quicker.
yeah.
I would have once again I would have loved to have done a battle, but I feel like a battle is certainly a bit more intense because you're pretty much just going up against one person and it's like you or
Mm,
them. Whereas in the cut there was a lot of, like especially in my group there was like I think there was
quite
like
a few.
there was 6 of us, so it was like, well, whoever doesn't, like we've got a whole a whole group
Yeah.
to go back with.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, I feel like with the battles, like you'll pit against one another with the same song,
Same
and like
song.
it's like
Yeah.
I feel like when you got to sing in isolation, we got to like just focus on that one kind of
Yeah.
singer, like one at a time, which probably was a little bit easier rather than having to like scream louder or like
Yeah.
sing louder than someone else or do more tricks. So yeah.
No, 100%. Like I feel like someone, Seb, who was on the show, he said
Mm.
he worded it really nicely where he said like the battles, it's a hard concept because like singing shouldn't really be like within a song. You shouldn't be trying to compete for like the spotlight. So I feel like
Yeah.
it was nice in the cut to kind of have, you know, like your own song. Sorry, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna get the dogs to be quiet. I'm gonna message my mom.
That's all good. Take your time.
There we go.
Oh, good. I think as well, like as you were saying with the kind of like the battles, it's not what singing is about. And I think when you're singing the same song, it's more like a duet, and so you want to kind of just
Yeah,
like compliment each other, but you're
yeah,
actually having to fight for a spot, which is would definitely be daunting. So yeah, I guess the cut has its benefits and its kind
yeah.
of flaws.
Like it had its ups and downs because it was like
Mm.
over so quick. That I think I've said this before. I've done like a few other podcasts, but I was saying how um for some people they had their audition the night before the cut, say at like
Mm.
11 p.m. and then came in at like 7 a.m. And it's like you'd get off and some people got like four chair turns as well the night before and then it would be like bang going home.
Wow.
Like it was very very brutal.
Yeah, it was intense. And like, what was your kind of mental process at that time? Were you like, I'm gonna make it through, or were you like,
I prepared myself to go home. I was
really?
like because I was before Jordan, if that makes
Mm,
sense. Like they filmed it like I can't remember the exact order, but I was before Jordan. So
yeah.
it was kind of this pressure of like if I did go through it was like oh no, like Jordan would feel the pressure then to go through, but then it would be the same way as well. I forgot the question then. I just went off on a tangent.
Oh, I think I was saying, were you nervous, like
Oh,
mentally?
mental. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mentally prepared myself to go home. Because I
Yeah.
was like, I would rather be prepared to go home than be thinking I was going through and then not.
Not make it. Yeah, fair enough. But you did, which is great. I was rooting for you like the whole way. I was like, come on, she can do it. But yeah, I mean, again, all of this kind of, mental stuff going like along with the kind of filming of the show as well, probably would have like piled on, especially because you're doing the HSC right now, which is
Yeah.
like a super stressful time. So, how did you remain organized and on top of everything during both the filming and also watching it? Because I'm sure you would have gotten kind of consumed in like comments or like DMs and everything that was going
Yeah.
on.
I actually found it a lot harder to like because we were in a lockdown as well
Mm.
when it was airing, so I found it a lot harder to stay like mentally focused on school when it was airing because I was doing
Yeah.
my trials. Like my trials started when my episode aired, and I was like, oh gosh, because originally my trials were gonna like I was gonna do my trials and then it would air like a week later, and I was like,
Yeah.
perfect, that's like perfect timing because then we have like that break. But then when everything got pushed back, it was like right in the wrong spot. I was like,
Yeah.
perfect. But I think it was important for me, like sort of like compartmentalizing my life. Like I would kind of be like, I don't know, it was important to just sort of go like, oh, there's that and there's that. So when I was like focusing on school, I was focusing on school. And then
Yeah.
like if I had a break, like if I once I stopped, it was like, oh, okay, now I like go like make a video or like read comments or respond to people.
Yeah.
Like it was just a case of that. But I think during when it was actually filming, it was quite a short filming process. So I was lucky in the fact that I didn't miss like too much school.
Yeah.
But just staying on top of the classwork at that time, I have to admit I wasn't too great at staying on top of the classwork because we were doing
Yeah.
assessments as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would just like do what I could whenever I could. So like
Mm.
I'd even like do some of my assignments like at the studio where it was filmed.
Yeah.
But yeah, and my school was really helpful. Like we had like Misadventure in place and stuff like that. They were just really supportive of like everything. So there wasn't too much pressure like at all throughout it. But yeah, it was definitely difficult, especially I had a few like mental breakdowns at school while it was filming because it was be like I didn't tell anyone at school
Mm.
that I was doing it. So I'd like spend one day like filming and then the next I'd be like at school.
It's like Hannah
It
Montana,
was
yeah.
just, yeah, it did. It
Well,
felt like a Hannah Montana moment.
yeah. No, and I mean that would have been hard as well, keeping it a secret. Did you ever like almost kind of slip it out?
Yeah, there was like I felt the need to tell some of my teachers, like to some of my teachers, the ones where like I was usually really like on top of my schoolwork, I'd be like, I just had to let them know. I was like, I don't want them thinking I'm like just slacking off and like not coming
Yeah,
to
like
school.
no, I'm on The Voice. Like I'm not like just being a
Yeah.
bad student. Yeah.
And like, there was one scenario where I was in the middle, so like we were filming The Voice, and one day I stayed back late, like at the library at school to like catch up. And I was one of my favorite teachers. I was sitting there and I was like, oh, like I don't want to do this anymore. I want to drop out. And he jokingly was like, oh, just go and audition for The Voice and win The Voice and you'll be fine. And
You were like,
I was like, and then I was with my friend who knew, and I was like, but he didn't know, like he just said it as a
that's
joke.
so funny.
But yeah.
That's like a weird kind of synchronicity. Like he has like a sixth sense. Like he knew something.
And then when it aired, he was like, Sian, do you remember that time in the library? And I was
Yeah.
like, yes.
That's so funny. But yeah, I can understand how difficult that would have been because I mean as well, like during, not even during filming, but when it was aired, you were like having articles written about you. You had like
Yeah.
all these comments, all of this like newfound kind of popularity on like
Mhm.
social media platforms. How has it been kind of navigating that as well? Because like social media is such a like kind of
Strange.
weird, strange
Yeah.
at the moment. And I don't think like I mean previous voice like winners and stuff like back in the day, they didn't always have to face like all of the kind of
Yeah.
stuff that came along with social media. But like I think now this new wave, it's so common. So like what was that like for you?
I think like the one platform that I've been like trying to sort of like channel and like focus on because I feel like it's taking over and everyone thinks
Mm,
it's taking over is TikTok. But
yeah.
the thing about TikTok is that your videos get shown to like such a wide range of people. So if they like get on the For You page, I think it's just hard like getting comments and like I don't know, I've had like a few incidents where I was like, "Oh my gosh, like it was just like a lot." If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like I think I made like a joking TikTok once about because I had a lot of people being like, "You stole your brother's moment. You're so rude." Like,
Yeah.
did you even ask him? I was like, "Do you really think I would go up there and audition without asking if it was okay with him?"
Yeah.
Like he was 100% supportive, like 150% like, "Please do it." He was like
Yeah.
one of the biggest influences for me to like actually say yes. But
Yeah.
when I was getting that, I like jokingly made a TikTok being like, "Oh, like people saying." That I stole my brother's spotlight, but they think I'm in the spotlight. And then like I had a few comments from like obviously people, I think one was from like America, and it was so like passive aggressive. It was like, well, I don't even know who you are. Like, so what is this? What are you like? What are you going on about? I don't know your name. I don't know who you are. And I was like, I was just meaning,
Okay.
like, I was just meaning like within
A
my own
joke.
little like circle, like
Yeah. Oh my God.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think it was just important to kind of like remember that it is just social media.
Yeah.
Like it's not the be all and end all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I think TikTok is definitely where people really speak their minds in the comment section. Like they
That's true. They get
they
so
really don't. Especially, I think the ones that hurt the most is like if someone's like tagging their friends and it's kind of like speaking as if like it's not your video. Like it'd be like, oh, she blah blah blah, like she doesn't sound good in this, like tagging
Yeah.
their friend and being like, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm right here and I
I'm
read
like
them.
here. This is like indirectly like
Yeah, like I don't know why those
talking.
ones hurt because it's like you could have just like DM'd it, like you know how you
Yeah,
can
like
like
I
send
prefer to not
it to
see
them.
it. Out of sight,
And
out
I'm
of
like,
mind.
no, yeah,
Yeah. No, 100%. But yeah, I think TikTok is like, as you said, probably the fastest growing platform. Oh my goodness, I can't talk at the moment. So yeah, like even though you already have that kind of established base, you're being exposed to more people that might not know you or might not have the attachment to you
Yeah.
because they watch The Voice. So of course you're gonna get those like different comments, but I'm glad that you're kind of being able to navigate it and not like and knowing that it's not real life because I
Yeah.
think some people get so consumed in it that it like really damages them. So I really hope that everything stays
Yeah.
cool for you.
And I think also for me, like remembering that, like, as I said, like it's not the be all and end all. Because there was a point in time where like so I had like my trials, and I was like, oh no, like I haven't like posted anything. Like people are gonna like unfollow, leave, and I was like, does it matter? Like, does it matter if they unfollow?
Yeah,
Like it
exactly.
kind of got to this point where I was like, it really doesn't. I don't really care about the numbers, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
I never have, like, about like how many followers, whether people unfollow. Because I sometimes get like friends asking me, like, they're like, oh, like, how are you gonna, like, people are gonna forget about you soon. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like,
That's so nice.
I don't really care. The right
Yeah,
ones will stay. Like, if people want to leave, they
exactly.
can. Like, yeah. Sorry, I went off on another, like,
No, but like it's true. Like you don't really need the people that aren't like genuinely there for you or
yeah,
your kind of
like,
talent. You want the ones that are actually supporting you
yeah.
100%.
And I'd rather someone, if they don't enjoy like what I post or like want to follow me, I'd rather they unfollow than just like,
Yeah. Sit
you know,
there and hate.
not engage, like not enjoy
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah. 100%. And I mean, like, I don't think you're gonna fade away. Like, you have your HSC now. Once that's
Yeah.
over, like, I know that you're writing songs. I know that things are gonna happen, and like, I think it's only upwards and onwards from
Yeah.
here. So,
Yeah. I'm so excited for the HSC to be over because like I get a lot of comments that are like, when are you releasing music? And I'm like, I'm trying, but my kind of thought process behind it though was like I never wanted to release anything before my HSC because I want to like put my full energy into something and do it properly instead of trying to like divide, you know, like
yeah,
half-ass it, you know?
attention. Yeah. I think it would have been way too full on, like, doing
Yeah,
it throughout UGC as well. So, I mean, at least you have this kind of follower base and you can just go from there with it.
yeah.
But all right, so my next question for you, because I just got so like involved in that whole little tangent. So what was it like for you kind of growing up in a musical family, and how do you think that that's shaped your own passion for performing? Because I know that like your brother sings, obviously Jordan, and
Yeah.
then I think your other brother is like
Yeah,
a
my
kind of
other brother,
musician as
yeah.
well, and then your mum as well as a singing
Yeah.
teacher. That's like just like literally a band right there.
Yeah. I think like definitely none of us would have like been involved in music at all if it wasn't for our mum. When we were growing up, she had like a music studio, like a youth, she did like she put on youth musical theater productions. So like we spent like so much time during our like formative, you know, like those
Yeah.
real I've read up all about, sorry. I'm going off on another.
No, no, girl, a podcast. Okay, this is like
I've
the best part.
I've read so much about how like certain ages is when like your brain really develops and like
Yeah.
sort of learns quicker, and so during those ages we all were like surrounded by music. So I feel like it was kind of just like embedded in us straight away. But yeah, my mum has definitely been like the biggest one because even she's like taught from home, so she taught
Mm,
singing from home. And it wasn't even in like this private room, like it would literally just like be in our lounge room. So I'd be like upstairs and she would teach them like, you know, like singing exams. So
yeah.
then when we did ours, it was just this whole funny thing where we already knew all the like scales and exercises and songs because we'd heard them every single day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it was just like a part of our DNA. And like
Yeah, no.
my mum has like five brothers and sisters. Not like as in she has five siblings.
Yeah,
Um, so they're all like a part of music as well. Like
yeah.
I'm pretty sure like four of them, or their careers are like music based, like music teachers. One of them owns like a guitar shop and
Yeah.
like plays bass professional. Like it's just like
Yeah. There was
a
no
part of
escape.
us.
You could not have not come out like being immersed in music or loving music. I
Yeah,
don't think.
I feel like it would have been weirder if we weren't musical.
Yeah, if you weren't like musically inclined or you just like
Yeah.
hated music. I mean, maybe you could have turned out like that. Like if you'd heard it so much, you would just like stop singing or stop playing music. But no, I think it was probably definitely a positive environment, and you guys
Yeah.
definitely bounced off each other as well, like in songwriting or just singing
Yeah.
around the house. So yeah, no, that's perfect. That's amazing. And I think that's why you guys are so like authentic. It doesn't seem forced with you. It seems like
Yeah.
really natural. So yeah.
You?
I'm really interested as well, like in terms of your musical inspirations. Who are they? Like who do you think has influenced kind of your style and the artistry that you're looking to create for yourself, when you come out with music or just as an artist in general?
Yeah. I feel like at the moment I like have non-stop been listening to Phoebe Bridgers, like
Yeah, she's
non-stop.
amazing.
She's incredible, just like her lyrics. But then like Jordan and I combined, we both adore Harry Styles. Like I feel
Yeah.
like he's definitely one of our biggest influences because if you listen to Fine Line, like the whole album, there's like never it doesn't ever feel like you're listening to the same song. Like I feel like he's just great
Mhm.
at like creating songs that have like a different vibe to all of them.
Yeah.
And then that's how you really like diversify like your reach, if that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
he'd certainly have fans that like I don't know.
No, I
You
get what
know
you
what I'm trying to
mean.
say, but like his all
Yeah.
his songs are just so like different that like yeah, that's how you like maximize it. But we both love Harry and like Billie Eilish as well.
Yeah.
But there's also like a lot of like Australian people as well who I like look up to. I don't know if you know her name's Ainsley Wills. Ainsley Wills
No,
or Will? I actually
no,
don't. I
I'll
don't
have
even-
to look her up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I love like her lyrics so
Mhm.
much and just like her whole vibe and like what she stands for as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
No, that's
Olivia
beautiful.
Rodrigo, but everyone loves
Yeah.
Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah. How can you not? She's
How could
amazing.
you not? Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, like if you were to ask me, like without knowing your musical inspirations, I would have said like I feel like you're like a nice kind of blend of like Olivia Rodrigo, but also like Delta Goodrem. Like
Yes.
like like our Aussie like
Oh,
Olivia
that's like
Rodrigo.
perfect.
Yeah.
Thank
You're
you.
like a blend, which is so cool.
I
Um,
love Delta Goodrem.
she's amazing. And
Yeah.
I think well, like she also does kind of diversify like with her music. Like she can do those amazing ballads, but she can also do pop, which is
Yeah,
really
and
cool.
she played I forget the cat's name. Grisabella in
Yeah.
Cats like a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she's
Yeah.
just got such a wide range,
Mm-hmm. And
which
she's
is like
probably yeah.
sorry,
No,
yeah.
continue.
Which is
Okay.
kind of like what you have to do nowadays because like the industry is like saturated. There's a lot of people who want to like be artists. Like I feel like the way you have to be diverse in order to make it
Yeah,
and to make
100%.
money because it's hard to make money in that like
Yeah.
as a recording artist like so that you have to have other skills as well.
And that's something that I think you can bring to the table. Like you have that musical theater background, and
Yeah.
you're also a singer, and you're also funny. Like if you watch your TikToks, you have like a beautiful sense of humor. We
Thank
love
you.
it. So like you could have your own like one-man show, like a little comedy, a little bit of music, a little bit of acting, whatever you guys want. Sian is
Yeah.
here. Bye.
Oh my gosh, that's the best compliment ever.
No, oh my God, it's genuine. It's genuine. I'm not just saying it to like butter you up.
Well, thank
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I think Olivia Rodrigo and Delta Goodrem, those are like who I kind of see you
you.
as
Yeah.
for me. Yeah, like your artistry, but as well, like Harry Styles makes sense, especially for your brother. Like that's
Yeah.
something that everyone really like is like, oh my God, your brother reminds me of Harry
Very
Styles as well.
Styles, yeah.
But I can see how that influence rubs off on you because he is very diverse with his music. Like he can do those ballads, he can do rock, he can do
Yeah.
like pop. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So what does your songwriting process look like for you? Because I mean, I know you're writing songs at the moment. I'm
Yeah.
interested to know when you started and like, where you draw inspiration from. Is it like the chords first? Do you come up with a melody in your head? What's that like for you?
I feel like I'll start with like when you said when did I start? I feel like I never really took it seriously. Like, not that I didn't take it seriously, But for like years and years, I would come up with like little melodies and little lines, but I would never really be like spend time working on it to like make it a full song, if that makes sense. I'd just
Mhm.
leave them as what they were, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cute. That is what it is. But then I think when this opportunity came along, I was like, oh wait, like people might actually want to hear these. So I actually spent
Yeah.
time like, like working out like the chord progressions and stuff like that. But I think Jordan and I spend a lot of time writing together, but it's also a lot of like work is put in from our older brother because he's incredibly talented with the whole chord
Yeah.
scenario. Like I feel like Jordan and I have a pretty like we have an understanding, but I feel like he just takes it that like one step further where he'll
Yeah.
like chuck in something like a lot cooler or like a cool like riff or something. But yeah, there's a whole lot of like collaboration, I feel. But like Jordan and my older brother Ethan, they really bounce off each other a lot. Whereas I
Mhm.
feel like as in right from the very beginning, it'll be like it's kind of just like I've like watched it happen where they'll just like bounce off each other like
They'll just like
and
sync
then
up and start.
the whole
Yeah.
song is done like in 20 minutes. Like it's
Wow.
like boom boom boom. Whereas I feel like I'm a lot more introverted in my songwriting process. Like I'll
Yeah.
work out something on my own and then
Hmm.
I'll go, "Hey, can you help me?" Like I'll be very distinct in like I'll like write I feel like it's because I write very personal things where I don't really
Yeah.
feel like I don't know how to describe it, but then
Mm.
we just have like slightly different writing processes where I kind of like spend a lot of time to sort of figure out exactly what I want, and then I'm like, help me.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
100%.
But
That's an
then
interesting dynamic. Yeah.
we do a lot of like work together as well, where it's kind of just like workshopping. A lot of it just comes naturally though. Like it's not like we ever sort of sit down and go, let's write a
Mhm.
song. Like it'll just be
Yeah.
like, oh, like what do you think about this?
Yeah, no, and I think that's the best way as well. Like, I think you can't really force creativity or like artistry because then
Yeah.
it won't flow as well. I think
Yeah.
when you have an idea, it just everything kind of just flows so beautifully from there. Like, it's just magical.
But it's
Honestly, songwriting is magical. Like,
yeah.
it really is.
It's just kind of a great mix, like having and like my mum as well. She's like really great
Mm.
with like sometimes I can't really like figure out what the chords are and I'll just be like, please help.
Mhm. Yeah,
And she'll be like, oh, it's this. I'm like, sweet. Like, and then I can sort of like go from there. But yeah, it's just nice to have that sort of like collaboration between people who have that sort of musical understanding.
yeah, no, and I think that kind of links back to how it's kind of, having a musical family has kind of developed you and helped you grow as a singer and an artist. Like having that collaboration means that like any mistake that you make or anything that you don't feel comfortable with, like you can go to your siblings or you can go to your mom and be like,
Yeah.
hey, can I have some help with this? Like that's like such a special thing that I think you have because some people have to do it alone and it's so
Yeah.
much to come with that. So it's really, really cool. And I'm super stoked to see any future collaborations like with your siblings and stuff. I think it's going to be amazing.
Thank you.
And so, like, what kind of songs do you love to write? Do you like to write ballads? Do you like to write? I mean, you said as well you love diversifying.
Yeah.
So that kind of transcends to your own songwriting.
I feel like I I sort of will start something as a ballad and then sometimes it'll kind of like merge its way into sort of like
Yeah.
upbeat, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like there is sort of I try to like, change things up a bit. But then Jordan and I together, we sort of have that like rock pop feel of stuff
Mm, you
that we like.
do.
Yeah, when we write stuff together.
Yeah. No, and I mean like even like you guys, like your aura and your fashion and everything, I think it really aligns with rock pop stuff, which is really, really cool.
Thank
And I mean like even how you said that you start off with ballads. I think like if you have a really, really good chorus or a really good hook, like it can kind of just transcend to any kind of,
Yeah,
regardless of the backing track, it's gonna be a good song. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like if it has the right kind of songwriting
exactly.
elements to it, it's gonna be great.
And
Yeah.
I feel like also like what's coming to light now a lot more because it's quite popular. I was listening to Paul Simon yesterday and like I
Mhm.
was with a friend and they were like, "Oh, like it sounds like between the verse and the chorus like it's a completely different song." And I was like, "Oh my God, yes." And I feel like that's coming back where people will kind of have like happier than ever.
Yeah.
how it started, like it
It
starts with like,
changes.
and then it's just like a completely different song. I love
Mhm.
that that's like, so I want to try and sort of like experiment with stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. And I think it crosses over. Like it can get those ballad people, but it can also get those like
Yeah.
really those rock heads, you know what I mean? So yeah. And I mean, now, being in the public eye with such a large social media following, I'm really interested to know how you're looking to use your platform in like the future in terms of as an artist, maybe personally. What do you plan to do with it? And, how do you plan to kind of navigate it in the future?
Yeah, I feel like social media is like quite important now, I feel, for
Mhm.
like music artists, if that makes sense. Like people do look for, I don't know, a lot more stuff from them, if that makes sense. Like seeing like their personal life, but then like also, yeah, but I feel like especially TikTok is like such a great place to promote your music. Like I
Yeah.
even recently I've been like very hyper aware of it because it's like what I want to do after the
Hmm.
HSC is done when I am like releasing stuff. But
Yeah.
like just the simple fact that if you could make a trend out of a little part of your song, it's like
Hmm.
there you go. You've got like millions and
Yeah.
millions of streams. Like I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
like who's, and you know Peach, like Peach PRC?
I think
On
so.
TikTok. I've been
Familiar.
following her for
TikTok.
like ages, and it's like just
Mhm.
such a great example of how like you can start, because she started just by like telling like really funny stories and then like
Yeah.
would like interweave like her own music, and now she's like super duper successful. But yeah, I feel like it is certainly like such a great tool for that. But then I also just really enjoy the fact of TikTok that like you can just like post whatever you want.
Hmm.
Like if you want to just like post something like, I don't know, like your
Funny.
personal life or like a funny story, you can. I feel like that's what I love about it. But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's a perfect answer. And I think, like as you were saying, it's so easy to, really like kind of amplify your music on TikTok. It's such a great
Yeah.
resource for a lot of artists today, especially independent artists, I think, because, if you don't have the backing of like a big music label
Label.
and you want to get kind of some people following you, it's really, really great to get that kind of that 15-second TikTok
Yeah.
trend on TikTok, and you'll have like 100 million like people
Yeah.
listening to your song on
It's
Spotify.
crazy.
It is. So yeah, I really do hope that you get that. And if you do release a song, I will make a TikTok to it. I'll be like, start a
Yeah.
trend. Maybe we'll put like even if it's a ballad, I'll just like make a dance trend to
Yeah,
it.
like
Like
contemporary dance.
no, yeah, but it's super important today, and I really do hope that you're successful with it. I think you
Thank
will
you.
be. So wishing you all the best with that.
Thank
But
you.
my last question for you is, what are your plans personally and musically post HSC? Because I mean, you're gonna get to do everything that you want to do. So yeah.
So post HSC, I'm so looking forward to like really, really looking forward to that where I can
Yeah.
like focus on music. Actually, I'm still kind of like working out what the go is because
Yeah.
I received early entry for like the course that I've always like kind of like wanted to do.
Ooh,
Um,
it's
but then
amazing.
I've been looking at it kind of going like there's the option to do it part-time. So I'm considering doing it
Mm,
part-time so that I have more time to, like songwrite and like, you know, the work.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think John and I's plan is to either like late this year or early next year, like start releasing stuff.
Music.
But then also
Yeah.
just like working with other artists because that was something that we didn't really get the chance to do during this lockdown. Like it was
Mm.
kind of sad because like you have like some people like reach out to you and be like, "Oh, like would love to like,"
Oh,
but
yeah.
you didn't really get to do it then. And like now I'm doing my HSC, so once that's done, I can't wait to like, just like have a crack.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I it's hard to like put it into words, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
as to like the like definite plan.
Kind of. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it'll all kind
But
of unfold.
we talked a lot as well about like musical theater. I would love to like even like have a crack at that as well. In like the,
Hmm.
yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not like saying it well, but
No,
in
it's
essence,
fine.
like I kind of just want to sort of like try my hand at a lot of different things and like see,
Mhm.
what really speaks to me and what I feel would be like the best, direction for
Yeah.
my future and Jordan's
Yeah.
us together as well.
And I mean, you have so many options as well, which is the great thing about it. Like, it's not like you're just running at like one thing and you don't have any
Yeah.
kind of back or anything like a safety net for you. So I
Yeah.
think that's like really, really great for you. And you're so young. Like, we're so young. Oh, what am I saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I'm older than you or something. No, we're so young. So like, there's so much
It's time.
time for
Yeah.
figure out everything. And I think you will. It'll be like a nice kind of divine timing thing for you, and you'll come.
Thank
It'll
you.
come. Yeah. So I mean, that's all the questions that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me,
Thank you
Sian.
so much for having me. This is so nice to chat.
Yeah, no, and I think my listeners will really enjoy this. So I'll also link all your like social medias, your Instagram, your TikTok, anything that you want me to share. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I'm super excited to see you blow up, and then I can be like, you know what? I had Sian on my podcast before she blew up even more. So
oh,
yeah,
you're the best.
thank you so
Thank
much. Thank you.